What's up, everyone? Beast Mode's back with another match review. So this is we're going to continue on with the Edison Worlds Tournament RBET Ruler. This is round 3. So we're playing here against Hero Beat or Diva Hero. Many of you may recognize the name here on Dueling Book. Plays multiple formats. He's pretty good across GOAT as well as Edison, always top 10 on the ladder. So this is a very good opponent here, and we're going to get into the match. Let's see what we could have done better. Excuse me. Could have done better. Could have maybe made some different decisions here. And after this video, we will go into obviously round 4, 5, and then top 8. And then there was a tournament announced, I think yesterday. There'll be a Deck Devastator tournament in the beginning of February, which will be giving invites. So that's kind of the first tournament of the new year that's really considered, a big event. So I definitely plan on playing in that. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be playing. The zombie deck everybody's kind of on and figured out that I've been playing. So we'll have to see. I'm not opposed to playing other decks. I've toppled quick draw. I've mainly played zombies, but I'm kind of open to some other decks. So guys can comment in there if there's something that you'd like me to try. I definitely plan on starting to test over the next few weeks. I definitely plan on streaming. I know I just hit over 100 subscribers, so I'm just trying to get everything situated, my new mic and the face cam and all that. So that's coming in the next few weeks. Without further ado, let's get into the match review. Alright, so let's see here. So hand, okay. A little bit of defense, of course. The Starcom Dragon, again, I've said in other videos, don't like to see it opening hand. But we do have a pretty easy way to get it out. We already got a Tragodia, we got a Sangin, Illblood. This card's like a love-hate relationship with this card here. You love to see it off of return play or with a Book of Life, but awful unless you have an Allure in your hand. So my opponent gets to go first. I'm pretty sure he plays 2 Gilman in this deck, so it's like a Diva Hero Absolute Zero build. Makes a lot of synchro plays with it. So now our hand's kind of bricking a bit here. Gonna get the Caius out. I think here we're probably just gonna set Sangin, Mirror Force. You don't absolutely have to set Mirror Force, but Hero Beat is pretty aggressive in terms of trying to kill you pretty quickly. It summon an alias, and they're doing the damage fast. So setting Mirror Force, I think, is fine. Gain 600. I'm not sure why he doesn't attack here. I'm trying to see what he has. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, and maybe he just didn't really want to have to commit the Ocean because he didn't have a hero or Stratos or anything like that. So didn't feel like losing the Android, which is fine. So my opponent here is very good in terms of making reads and bluffing, and I've seen him do some crazy plays before, like trap dust shooting somebody, seeing they had Honest, and attacking with a smaller guy, hoping their opponent would drop Honest, even though he didn't have Honest. Like, he does some really crazy plays. So I'm definitely trying to play in a conservative manner and really not give any information. So we just set Turtle here. We don't Windmill Slam the Caius because he's got 2 back rows, likely a Bottomless, and then we're just going to have to Mirror Force an Android. So we're just playing slow like he is. He's not attacking. We don't need to either. Another turn doesn't attack anything. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the thought process is. I'm trying to figure it out. If anybody has an idea, reason why, you can comment below. I'm not sure if maybe he wants to have me commit more to the board and he can call and maybe make a Black Rose. That's a possibility. Again, maybe it's because he doesn't want to lose the Android and doesn't want to have to summon the Honest. He has no read here that this is a Mirror Force. He went first and summoned Android, so I'm interested to see what everybody thinks. But so here we drew a Diva. Now our opponent is not giving us what we want. So our hand is starting to brick, I would say. Like, we need to stop playing some cards here, because if, let's say, Caius, I don't think he plays Caius in the deck. I know some absolute zero, Diva zero decks do, but that could potentially shut us down. And we really need to start getting the Goblin Zombie into rotation here with the Deep Sea Diva. So I'm okay with a Deep Prison here, because I still have the Sangan that can search us what we need. So my thought process here is, let's crash the turtle and let's grab a Goblin Zombie, and then we can Caius. I'm more or less attacking with the turtle to see if he actually responds. I'm trying to get something out of him, and let's see what he does here. I don't remember. He doesn't do anything, so we get the Goblin Zombie. Now we're going to Caius. We could have just easily Caiused over the Sangan, but I'm also reading potential Torrential. So if we Caius over the Sangan, we lose the turtle to Torrential. So this is a safer play into Torrential. I'm sure, I think he has the bottomless, right? Yep. So he doesn't bottomless this. He does not bottomless the Caius. So again, opponent is making decisions here. I'm not saying it's a bad play or not. I'm not sure what he's waiting to bottomless. I think bottomlessing the Caius is probably reasonable, but he doesn't, so that's fine. So now we get to Stratos. So calls here. Okay. Making a potential level 6. Okay. So he has done nothing for 3 turns, has not attacked, has no idea what this card is. So potentially could just be, I could bottomless that, and he has, he's pitching a card here for nothing, but it is a Mirror Force. So he's targeting his own, so he prios for 1 and targets his own call. Okay, rather than targeting the back row. We'll see where this goes. He then targets the back row. Okay. So this reads to me that he's trying to do an OTK push. Like, he's bouncing call, he's bouncing my back row. It sounds like, or it seems like he's trying to go for game. Definitely when I see the Miracle Fusion, I know that I'm probably in trouble. So double Miracle Fusion. These zeros are what? 3,000 apiece. Bounces a Caius. Yeah, so he's using every resource he can to try to win here. So I disagree with this play. He has played nothing this whole game. He's literally made an android and has not attacked with it. And now, I have, 4 or 5 cards in my hand. He knows that zombies play Gores as well as Tragodia. So this is kind of what I've spoke about in earlier videos. Like, if you commit like this to the board to try to go for game, knowing that your opponent has, 5 cards in hand, and you don't win, there's a chance that this can get reversed next turn. So obviously everybody's looking at the Tragodia here, so I don't lose. I don't know if I might have clicked too quick here. So I take some damage and I drop the Tragodia, and then instead of bouncing the Tragodia back to my hand, he discards the Call of the Haunted to bounce his absolute 0 to kill my Tragodia. So that read makes me read there that he does not have any defense, because why are you, obviously if you had a Mirror Force or something, you would be okay with leaving the Tragodia on the board. So he actually ends up losing an absolute 0 there to kill the Tragodia. So at the end of this turn, I'm up 1, 2, 3, what am I up? 4 cards, and all I did was drop Tragodia because he attempted to go for game into 2 monsters on the board and a Mirror Force. I disagree with the play, but I'm not he's a good player. He knows what he's doing. I just don't know what the thought process was there. Sure, if I don't have Tragodia, I guess I lose. So that's the thought. But he didn't even attack. He made no attempt to try to dwindle resources or try to play the whole trade 1-for-1 game or anything like that. So I draw a Gale, and this is a great out here because I can out the Brio, and now I have Mirror Force 2, which he bounced back, which I'm fine with trading the Mirror Force and Gale for the 0. So luckily he had just a bottomless. Obviously that doesn't affect Gale, and it was a pretty clear read that he was not going to be able to stop a Tragodia attack, which is why he made the play he did. So I felt pretty confident that this Gale play was going to work. Now, if this Gale play doesn't work, and I set Mirror Force, obviously I'm going to lose, right? Because he's going to draw and he's going to bounce the Mirror Force back and then attack directly. So this play right here, actually, if it doesn't stick, I lose. But because of the play he makes, I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the play that works. So, because you could make the argument that I could just not summon Gale here, set Sangan or Mizuki, and set the Mirror Force, and he draws a card, maybe bounces the Mirror Force or the monster back. Either way, I don't die that turn, and if he bounces the Mirror Force and attacks the Mizuki, I then have a play next turn. But because of the way he played, I felt confident this would work, so that's the reason why I did that play. So obviously here, draws, we're going to Mirror Force this. That way, that card's difficult to deal with on the board. You kind of want to get it off the board for as little resources spent as possible. So what did he draw? He drew a Starlight Road. So at this point, I'm up. I have 7 cards as 2. It's very difficult for me to lose this game. It's not going to happen. So obviously, I summon Dark Arm. I do make a slight misplay here. I probably should target the new set because the old set's been there for quite a while. And that was because I hadn't summoned anything big enough for him to bottomless. So that was a misplay on my part. Of course, the Starlight Road doesn't matter at this point. It's a dead card anyway, but definitely should have targeted the other. So summon Mizuki. At this point, I'm going to set the Wing Blast because I have the Ill Blood, I believe. Draws a Hero Blast, which this card right here, you never want a Hero Blast. And I'm guessing by looking at my hand, I'm pretty confident that he could possibly have a Hero Blast, so I'm just going to summon Sangan here, pretty certain. Yep. So neither of these cards, you never want to have to Hero Blast those. So I feel confident that if he does have to Hero Blast, I'm still going to get a plus, and I'm okay with that. And I have the Wing Blast for protection. So knowing my opponent, he's not going to Hero Blast these until he absolutely has to. He's not going to give me the +1 essentially, or it's a 1-for-1, but Mizuki in the graveyard is essentially a plus. So I draw a Caius, I believe, or no, I drew the Solemn. So we're gonna just attack directly again. We don't summon anything. We go right to battle phase. We're gonna set Solemn. So he top decks a Miracle Fusion here. So at this point, I'm looking at my life, and if I allow the Miracle Fusion to go off, I have to now deal with a absolute 0, and I have no real efficient way of doing it. Obviously, I can allow him to attack one of these, and then next turn sack for Caius, and that really switches the tempo. Obviously, I'm in control of this game right now, right? He's at barely any life. I have a +3 in card advantage. I'm not going to allow him to get back in this game, so I'm just going to Solemn this right here. And that's that. So now we're both kind of low on life, so this is a little scary because at any point in time, either of us could just win the game. So at this point, these 2 attacks went through last turn. I'm still reading that likely one of them is a Hero Blast, but at this point, I see there's an option for me to go for game next turn. If he doesn't have an actual Battle Trap, I win. And even if he does, at least it sets him back a turn again. I know he's drawing another trap, so we just Wing Blast this. We pitch the Ill Blood. So we attack with the Sangan, and we're going for game. So again, if you watch this game here, you see that we're playing around cards, right? We know or think we know that he has a Hero Blast. We're not giving him a good target for it. We're just going to keep attacking. Sure, you could say I could go for game here if I dropped Caius over this and targeted a back row. I could go for game, possibly. But at this point, again, I'm in control of the game. There's no reason for me to play into certain cards. I've attacked 3 turns in a row. Why not just keep going for it? So now we make him use Hero Blast on a card he doesn't want to. So now we sack for Caius because we know that we can't die. The top card of his deck is a trap, and I have the Mizuki play. We get Sangan's effect. We search the Necro Gardener here just for safety. There's really nothing else to search with Sangan at this point. Gale's gone. The Divas are gone. You can search a Turtle or a Goblin Zombie, but really no need. We have access to that with Mizuki. So we're moving on. So in this case here, I activate the Mizuki because if the one card he drew, what he set was Brain Control, I don't want to die, or an answer to the Caius in any which way, and I just don't want to be in that position. So I'm okay with just using Mizuki like this, and seeing just to protect my life points. I could have gotten Pyramid Turtle in case he summoned the Hero Blast and ran over the Goblin Zombie, and then maybe activated like a Gemini Spark and killed the Caius and drew a card. That's fine. My main goal is to not die here. So he draws and does not summon, so I'm confused here. Obviously, he has some type of answer. Torrential's not gone, Mirror Force is not gone, so we can't. You don't want to summon into this, because if that's Torrential, that literally is going to get him right back in the game, and you really can't afford to do much attacking with monsters here. Like, I can't summon Pyramid Turtle because of Torrential, and if I do summon Pyramid Turtle and it doesn't get Torrentialed, I run into Mirror Force potentially. So we have to kind of play slow here. Obviously, Goblin Zombie isn't lethal, but I'm okay with putting him out of range of Brain Control. That was my thought here. And we hit a Gemini Spark. So I'm guessing he has an answer to this because he did not summon a Gemini, the Neo Alias rather. So Wing Blast, I'm fine with. And now you can probably see the play here. We haven't summoned this turn. He's at 450, and we have a +6 on him. This is how Zombie should be played, in my opinion. We made 0 synchros this game. 0. Okay? I've seen games where people are making 8, 9, 10 synchros. It's unbelievable. And still don't win the game. This right here, in my opinion, is how I prefer to play zombies. I feel like this is when they're at their best, just grinding advantage. And then you have access to potential synchros if needed. Now, obviously, he didn't have anything big on the board. There was really no reason for me to synchro, but this is really the way I like playing zombies. I really felt in control of this whole game, especially when he, went -3 or 4 to try to beat me. So that was game 1. Let's get into the next game here. So this hand's really good. Okay. Problem here is allure. You don't want to really allure away the Plague Spreader ever. Spirit Reaper is pretty good in this matchup because it stalls until only thing that can really kill it is Gemini Spark. So all right, if you've watched any other videos, when I saw this play, the first thing I'm doing, and I'm sure you all already noticed it, we're going right into Summon Spirit Reaper here. We're not alluring. Right? Let's see if I'm right. Correct. So this is because my whole game plan is always +1, -1. If I can sneak in attack with Spirit Reaper here, I feel like I'm already on my way to victory. What does he have here? He doesn't have Bottomless, so we're ditching a card here. So we actually hit a Spine Gilman, which was the worst card in his hand, actually. He has double Diva, Spine Gilman, Torrential Call. Of course, I don't know that. I actually set Solemn here because of my thinking is if, depending on the play he makes, maybe a Strato Summon or something, I could potentially just Solemn that and maybe try to rip another card out. I don't like setting this card early like this because Heavy Storm, you could lose it, or you might be forced to activate it. But with Spirit Reaper on board and a fresh attack that just went through, you could potentially make the argument to Solemn something and then directly attack again. So that's what we do. So he summons a Diva here. So we're just going to take the damage. Okay, so this is something I tell you about in other games, right? So you bluff here, right? This is a Solemn. You don't want to ever activate it. It's never a time, you're going to pick and choose when you're playing this card. So I'm not giving him any information here. I'm going to make him think that I maybe have a Mirror Force. Maybe I have something here, so we think for a second. We don't do it every single play. We don't spend a long time doing it, but we just giving a little bit of messages here, trying to give our opponent the wrong read. We take that one too. It's fine. We know that this guy has a pumped up attack, so we take a little bit more. 1,700 total. So that's another back row here. So we make a play here. We do it a little bit fast. Okay. My thought process is I know that he is very smart. He is always making reads. He's always one step ahead of his opponents for the most part. So my thought here is I'm pretty sure he has a Bottomless face down. And he doesn't synchro here, which almost tells me he's inviting me to attack. He wants me to summon something to attack here to run over that Diva. So I actually do it too fast, and you can see in the chat. I want to attack the Diva, and obviously the Diva is pumped up 400 more attacks, so 600, and I'm okay with taking the 300 damage to see if he reacts with one of these back rows, because he might fear that I'm dropping Tragodia here, which would dodge the bottomless. Because if he thinks that I have Tragodia now and he was trying to bait me into summoning something that he could bottomless, I can actually just kind of circumvent that by attacking here and then in damage step dropping Trag and then running over the Diva, and then that will kind of put him in a bad position. So my thought is let's attack, and I'm okay with taking the damage even next turn. It's not a whole lot of damage, and I have a bottomless for an alias or something, so that's why I attack here. It's kind of like this high level play between two good players here to see if one of them will bite. And I kind of, in the chat, take it too fastly. I don't really give him a time too fast to give him. I don't really give him enough time to think about it. He okays it, and then he asks me, I say anything on attack, and he says no. I took life too quick, so I told him that, and he asked me if I essentially. He says go ahead to see if I'm going to drop Trag there, and he asked me if I essentially was trying to trick him. So that was a little bit of, maybe a high level play. Some people can think that was kind of foolish because now you're going to take damage for nothing. But if he does activate a Mirror Force here or something, I'm okay with losing Spirit Reaper, and it's one less battle trap I have to deal with. And now you're putting the ball in your opponent's court by attacking here, and maybe just forcing a card that he didn't want to activate at that time. Because who does this? Why are you summoning Diva and then not you're not even going to synchro here? So it kind of gave me a read that he wanted me to attack into this with something or summon something, and I was really trying to go around that with the Trag play. So it's not something you can do every game, but it is a play that you can think of if you're in that situation, if somebody would bite on doing that. So we take the damage, no big deal, it's 300 damage, and we set the Pyramid Turtle here. So again, I don't know why he doesn't synchro here. I'm not sure what the play is. And he even says trickery is very important. He is really good with doing a lot of that with honest bluffs and all that. So here I'm just going to take the damage. I don't have a way to really stop it. It's fine. I use life points as another card, essentially. It's just a resource. You only need one to win. We really should stay above 800, though, for brain control. So I should say you need 800 to win, or 900, rather. So at this point, we're just setting, and we are now going to switch to Spirit Reaper. So again, I don't summon Mizuki and try to crash. I don't get crazy with it because I have a feeling he has a bottomless down just the way he's playing. All right, let's see. So he goes for heavy here. When you're heavying 3 for 3 with 4 cards in hand, to me that means you're trying to make a game push. You're especially someone like him. He's not trying to get even advantage out of a heavy. He's trying to get pluses. So when he's just going to heavy 3 for 3, in my opinion, that is a tell that he's probably trying to push for game, or he's definitely making a big play that he wants to stick. So we saw him that because we have a bottomless and a D prison. It's not something I just want to throw away. So we have to really watch ourselves now. We're at 2150. It's low life. He sets another back row. So we draw Trag. Now we draw the Trag, of course. It was 2 turns later. So in this hand here, we actually pitch the Goblin Zombie. No need. You never want to really lose Plague, right? That's a key to winning the game. And we have Pyramid Turtle that can essentially search us another Goblin Zombie. Of course, it's not the ideal situation, but the real reason why I do this is because I keep Trag. And I just saw that he tried to make what seemed to be a big push. Trag could potentially keep us in the game. I know I'm at low life, but depending on how he sequences, could definitely keep us in the game. Or I can do another damage step trick with the Pyramid Turtle into the Spine Gilman and then drop Trag that way. So I just feel like Trag is more valuable in this situation. So draw set, we're kind of just passing back and forth. So here I kind of learned from my other tournament mistake where I set double bottomless. There's really no need to do that. Okay, so he summons an alias. So a lot of people here would just flip bottomless. There's no need to do that because there's a good chance that he has a Gemini Spark anyway. So I feel like that would be not the right play. We let the alias doesn't change anything for him at this point in time. He still can't kill the Reaper with it, so I'm not bottomlessing that. So here's the Brio play again. So when you see Brio come down, evidently that means it's time for game, which is true most often. So I feel like he's trying to make a game push. Excuse me, I had a cough. So of course we, do the whole prio thing. How many are you ditching and what are your targets? So he targets the Reaper here. So of course at this point we're going to bottomless. He's thinking about it. So now I know he has Solemn. Obviously there's really, Solemn or Book. There's only two cards you can have in the situation here that are actually chainable to to bottomless. So he has Solemn too. So now we're potentially going to die here. So he hits the D prison. I still don't chain Wing Blast here. Okay, at this point there's no real reason to. I'm just going to wait for him to target it. If he had targeted the Wing Blast there, then I would have had no choice but to Wing Blast, but he actually hits the D prison, which is fine. So we let this go. We don't chain anything. I would rather him pitch a card and target this, and then I can respond that way, try to get in a plus that way. So he moves to battle phase. I'm like, okay, this is fine. Attack declaration. Response. I have no response to the attack. So after declaration, he now activates Wing Blast. So he's going for game, and he pays the cost. Now I can respond to his Wing Blast, which is what we do. And we have plenty of discard. We actually discard the Plague Spreader because we can stack for it. And we target the Brio. And the Pyramid Turtle comes back to the top of the deck because of his Wing Blast. So keeping the Stragodia is actually ironic because I'm at 2150 and his Gilman's only at 1700. And he does have Call, but so he's still trying to go for game, but he can't because I have Tragodia. So I guess 2 games in a row, Tragodia saves me, but it's zombies. Like I said, we play Gores and Tragodia, so good chance we have one of the other, especially with Dueling Book. The algorithm seems like you always have one. So Trags keeps us alive there. Obviously, he could have called for game on the alias or the Gilman. So Trag's effect there to take the monster is really good here. I actually pitched the wrong one. For a second, I thought Gilman was 4 stars. I forgot, so we just sent back the Spirit Reaper, or pitched the Spirit Reaper that he sent back, so he knew about it anyway. So we don't summon here. No need to. We have his monster for free, and at most we could set either Pyramid Turtle or Mizuki, and we have 2 traps, so we're in good position. And also, this is game on board, so he has to respond to it. So in Edison, we have to... Edison is different from older formats like GOAT that you have to, once you make a declaration, you have to re-attack with the same monster, so I can't do the 1700 damage here because he aliased on that attack. I guess I could have done more damage if I attacked with Tragodia first. I guess that could be an oversight. So we set 2 here. He already used heavy, so we're safe. So again, 2 cards to... we have a +4. So this is a prime example of if you cannot win, if you're sure that, if there's any doubt that you can't win the game, you have to be very cautious when you make those big game pushes, because one Tragodia, one Battle Fade, or one Gores can really change the tide of that game. That's why I prefer to maybe, I could have made this synchro or that synchro and just won that turn. Knowing what we know now, if we know every card in the hand, it looks like I'm an idiot, right? But when you're playing in the middle of a tournament and you don't know what they're playing, and I waited an extra turn or 2 to win the game, I feel more confident in doing that than just trying to waste every card I have to do it, that turn. Now, sure, there are times where you're really down card advantage or you're down board position and you have an opportunity to OTK there or seal the game. Then there are times where you have to do that. But if you're sitting there with +4 cards on somebody and you're making a play with Brio and you're discarding your whole hand, that play has to work or you're not winning. So here we bottomless. If he has Spark, whatever, we got to deal with it somehow. So plus bottomless here is the best it's ever going to be. Like, he can run over every card that we have, so we're just going to bottomless there. Again, we still have threatened game. No need to summon anything, and I always side deck in the Sirocco there. This is Hero Beat. The cards are actually really good against this deck. So he leaves. He I missed defeat. So he had bottomless set, and so Trag won us both games essentially through an OTK push, but this is a good example of maybe not trying to win the game the second you have an OTK shot. He's a good player. I don't question anything he's doing here. I think that he knows how to play his deck very well. But I see a lot of people doing this, just making OTK pushes and getting punished for it. And again, this is a whole match that I did not synchro one time. Okay, and I've had options to do that. Like, I could have synchroed here. I could have copied a level. I could have stacked for play. Like, I did not make a single synchro in this match. And you can make the argument, well, you didn't really need to, and sure, but I have seen many people make far too many synchros and not win the game. So I think that just maybe slowing down a little bit and playing the game a little bit more control base and a +1, -1, and really trying to grind and play an interactive game with the opponent might be better than just synchroing the second you can synchro. So this was match round 3. Very good opponent, and every person here at Worlds is really good. They all deserve to be there, and that's the end of this. Here we're gonna cover round 4 next video, and I definitely plan on getting into some other content. I know not everybody watches zombies or cares about zombies, so I'm trying to really broaden the video coverage and all that for everybody, just to keep everybody interested. But right now, I feel like the tournament reviews are probably the best in terms of content right now, and I do plan on trying some other decks. Definitely, Black Wings or Value at some point. I haven't really decided what I plan on playing this season. Like I said, I hop between multiple decks, quick draw, zombies, and I'm kind of known for zombies at this point, but playing zombies for like a year straight can be tiresome at times and bored. I get bored of it. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Streams will be coming soon, and I'll see y'all in the next one.